In this lab, I'm going to show you how to set up a non-default native VLAN. So what happens is when you configure a trunk between two switches, the default native VLAN is 1, and Cisco recommends you change that to a non-default available VLAN. And the reason is for security purposes. The native VLAN is used for forwarding management packets like CDP and DTP and Ether channel, PAGP, LACP management frames. And so it's untagged traffic that goes across the trunk. And as mentioned, it's for security reasons. Cisco recommends you change that to a non-default VLAN that's available. So in this example, I'm going to start with switch 1, and I'm going to configure a trunk on fast Ethernet 3.1. I'm going to configure another trunk on 3.1, and then test to make sure that the non-default VLAN is active. So I'm going to go to the command line, and to start with, I'll sign on and go configure terminal. And to start with, the interface that I'm going to make a trunk is 3.1. So I'm going to go interface fast Ethernet 3.1. And the first command is make it a trunk port. The next command is to turn off DTP. I'm going to configure a static trunk. Now I want to do the native VLAN. So I'm going to change it from the default VLAN 1. And use 999. Now I want to tell it to allow VLANs across the switch port, across the trunk. So in this example, I've got host 1 is on VLAN 10, host 2 is on VLAN 11, and the laptop is on VLAN 100, and that's a wireless connection. So I want to permit 10, 11, and 100 across the switch trunk. So to do that, I'll do switch port, trunk, allowed VLAN. I'll go 10, 11, 100. It's all three. At this point, I'll save my configuration, copy run to start. I'm going to go over to switch 2 and do the same thing. So configure terminal. Start with the interface is the same on there, it's 3.1. So I'll start with interface FA3.1. Make it a trunk. Switch port mode trunk. And then turn off DTP. Now I'm going to change the native VLAN. And I'm going to allow VLANs. I could use a hyphen as well if it's 10, 11. I just use commas. 10, 11, and 100. At that point, it's all configured. So I'm going to save my configuration. Now I want to just verify that the trunk is operational. So go back to switch 1. At this point, so 3.1 is the interface, so that is correct. We know it's 3.1. So mode is on, it's a static trunk, it's not DTP. The encapsulation's the default, it is trunking, and there's the native VLAN is 999. And that will carry untagged traffic as mentioned, all management traffic. And what's allowed, 10, 11, and 100 are permitted across the trunk. So that's working correctly. And that concludes non-default native VLAN.